Hi, welcome back to Joe's Home Flavors. Today I'm going to be preparing something called ceviche. You've probably heard about ceviche, and it's a very easy recipe to follow, because it's not really a recipe, it's more of a concept. It's known to be of Peruvian origin, but a number of Latin American countries claim the invention of the ceviche. It consists of a cold sort of salad that needs to have some fundamentals present. From those fundamentals, one of them is obviously the fish. It needs to be a white fish so that it can cook in the juices of the citrus. And those citrus need to be primarily lime juice, but obviously, as you will see today, you can use other citrus as well to make it more interesting or to give different flavors. Also, from that point on, you should use some onions, some peppers, tomatoes, and then the confection and the recipes vary from this point onwards, because obviously everyone has their own recipe or their own way of making a ceviche, and you can pretty much do it with respecting these fundamentals of the fish and the citrus, and to give it a freshness but a tangy flavor. You can pretty much invent your own ceviche and see what works for you. And some people, and very popularly, use cilantro as we have here, and we're going to use as well. Today I'm going to use another herb called dill. But like I said, I mean, you can go wild and try your own skills and try to come up with your own ceviche. Today we're going to be cooking with cod, fresh cod, and yeah, let's get on with it. So first things first, we need to start doing the marinade that we're going to use for our ceviche. This marinade, the typical marinade, is called leche de tigre or tiger's milk, and we're going to do that now. So it marinates and takes all the flavors before we get on with our ceviche. So first things first, what we need is a few lime. Don't worry about the seeds, because we're going to before we use it, we're going to sift the whole thing, so don't worry about any seeds that go in there, okay? So for this today, I'm using a few limes. I'm also going to be using one orange and lemon juice as well. So we're just interested in the juice here, and yeah, so we want all this citrus sauce to come together. Well, juice, I should say, not sauce, because this is what's going to sort of cook the fish and bring that ceviche together. Okay. Again, don't worry about the seeds, because we're going to sift this before we actually use it on our dish. Okay. We're also going to be adding a little bit of ginger root, just a couple of slices. And also some cilantro stalks, just a little bit. You can chop it roughly, get it in there. And I'm going to be using one shallots as well, just roughly chopped. use a couple of chilies. These chilies are really tiny ones, but they are strong, so I'm just going to crush them a little bit, not too much. We don't want to release too much of this heat, and put it in there as well. And a couple of crushed garlics with the skin on. I'm not going to season it with a little bit of salt. So we're just going to preserve that, and we're going to get on with our recipe. So I have about 300 grams of cod fillet here, or loins I should say, and we need a sharp knife first and foremost. And what we need to, and this again, it's up to your taste. Many people do it in dices, the fish, which is the way I'm going to be making it. Some other people prefer to do it in sort of slight steaks, very thin in steaks, and then it's a matter of what sort of textures you're looking for in the mouth, and how you want to present it as well. In my case, we're going to be doing the traditional way, and we're going to go with the dicing. So I'm going to go and make a few cuts on these loins. I'm going to take these away so you can see better. So I just did a couple of cuts along the loin, and now I'm going to dice it, as you see, and so we can work from here. Not too small. We don't want to turn the whole thing into a pate rather than a ceviche. Okay, so I have a bowl here. Let's get this fish on there. Now I'm going to be using a couple of apples as well, so I'm going to peel these and dice them as well and join them with the fish. Typically for salads and this type of dish, a green apple behaves better. So the texture of the green apple is actually preferable than a red apple, say, because it's a little bit more sort of flowery. But because I'm a rebel, I'm actually going to use them both. Okay, you have to respect the proportions of whatever ingredients you choose to have in your ceviche in relation to the fish, because obviously the star of the dish is the fish, and you don't want to overwhelm the fish with everything else around it and then lose its personality and just be another salad. So next thing in, we're going to use one red pepper and also dice it really nice and thin. We want this really thin, so if you need to, you can cross chop like this. This is the safest way, and we want it nice and thin, otherwise it gets too crunchy. So we're now going to use some tomatoes. The way I do it is I slice them like that, and then as thin as I possibly can. And then again. Be careful with your fingers. Cross chop them if you need to. We're looking for tiny little cubes. I'm going to use a couple of shallots as well as some white onions. Some recipes use red onions. You can use either. I think white onions have a different, a more adequate flavor to what we're going for. Otherwise, the whole recipe can become a little bit too sweet, and not too sweet like in French, which means now too sweet, as in too much sugar. I also have pre-sliced a little bit of white onion, so I'm going to use some of that as well. So now we're going for our herbs, and of course we need coriander or cilantro for my American friends, and we need to finely chop this. Cilantro in, and like I said earlier, today I'm going to be using some dill, again very finely chopped. I'm going to be using this one over here, and we need to make sure all of it gets everywhere. There's many different ways of doing ceviche, and this is one. This is my way, and I promise you, this is a proper way of getting all these flavors going. And if you don't want to do the marinade first, you can just do all the process up until here, and then from here on, just add lime juice or any other citrus juice that you fancy in order to get this going. Okay, so now we have our marinade here, our tiger's milk, and we're going to pour it over the whole thing. I'm going to add a little bit of seasoning now, because I like my food well seasoned, but at this point you can give it a couple of minutes, try it and see if it needs extra seasoning or not. So I'm going to use a little bit of flaked salt, and then a little bit of pepper as well, and another twirl. It takes about 5 minutes for it to cook the fish through. You should allow it at least 5 minutes, and if it passes the 5 minutes, it's fine. Just don't do it before, unless you want to obviously eat your fish more on the raw side. But it should take about 5 minutes for the citrus juices to cook through all that fish. Okay, we're now moving on to the salad, which I'm going to serve with the ceviche. Okay. So my salad I'm going to make on a base of rucola or rocket salad. So I'm going to use this, and I'm now going to have an avocado here. I'm going to open this avocado like this, twist it, and twist and take the nuts out. And now I have a very special tool, which is this one, and I'm going to do little small little balls of our avocado onto the salad. If you don't have this, you can use a coffee spoon and do pretty much the same thing. The only thing you need to know is that the avocado needs to be ripe, proper ripe. So just tiny little balls like that, I now have some vine tomatoes, which I'm going to slice in half. I'm going to season it with a little bit of salt, not too much. Pepper, again just a little bit. Some olive oil and some lime juice. And that's it, that's our salad now. I'm going to serve the ceviche with the salad and I'm going to try it as well. Here we have it, folks, our Peruvian ceviche. And yes, today I'm having white wine again, or green wine I should say, and this is the last of it, so I'm just going to put it there. So yeah, we have our ceviche. This I chose, like I said initially, cod to do my ceviche. You can pretty much use any fish you like. It's traditionally made with white fish, but again, you can do it with sardines. You can do it with any fish you like. So now there's only one thing left to do, which is for me to try this marvelous ceviche. Here we go. And I'm also going to take some of that salad, because obviously I want to try and combine them both like that. And here we go. So don't mind me, I'll tell you now how it went. I get all the flavors now. I'm getting everything. I'm getting obviously the fish, nice and cooked, not too fat, just nice and tangy. The citrusy of the fruit, nice touch with the orange juice, tomato, the onion, a little bit of sweetness of that shallot. The herbs just make it. I mean, coriander or cilantro makes the whole thing come together. But this little bit of dill that I used also does create another sort of twist to the whole thing. Let's try this salad now. So we have our rucola here and our avocado. Let me try that. Nice and well seasoned as well. The avocado is almost the only piece of grease of the whole dish. So there's a little bit of olive oil dressing on the salad, but the avocado is that makes it nice and creamy sort of aftertaste, and it binds the whole thing together. Well, I think it's a good go. It's really easy to make. Only takes a couple of minutes. You can. It's up to you if you want to do it for summertime or for winter time. If you're looking for something light and also healthy and fresh and citrusy, go for the ceviche. You can't go wrong. Do your own version if you want. Or if you have any ideas, just post down on the comments and let's give it a go. Let's go with other ideas, other fish, and some people do with the shrimps as well, or other kind of seafood. So yeah, it's endless, the possibilities. Thank you very much for watching my video again. Don't forget, if you like, subscribe if you haven't yet. Give me a thumbs up if you can, and share with your friends, and keep on coming back to Joe's Home Flavors, and I promise you I'll be bringing some new and more delightful stuff as well. Okay, thank you very much for watching again, and I'll see you on the next one.